Thanks in large part to the guts of Valenzuela, the Dodgers were back in the series. But as the start of Game 4 soon proved, momentum can be fleeting.
But the Yankees now lead it 6-3.
Once again, the Dodgers played from behind. An uncomfortable position, maybe, but not an entirely unfamiliar one.
What helped is the fact that we'd come back in both series before that, against Houston and in Montreal.
So the Dodgers keep trying to get up off the deck. And high in the air to right center field. Just don't hit it out.
Until someone closed the door shut on us, it really wasn't in our minds that we were going to lose again.
You had to have a feeling about these Dodgers, the way they kept coming back.
The Dodgers took the lead in the 7th and held on for the 8-7 win, evening the series and reversing its tide.
Now, this past Thursday, our Roy Firestone ran into a broadcaster that some of you may have heard of out at Dodger Stadium. And when those two minds met, some strange things happened.
Well, what I'm looking for, Jim, is for you to fill the void when Howard retires.
No, that's you, Al.
No way.
Roy Firestone, that's who we need up here.
That's a local kid with a great gift at mimicry.
Who are you when you really get down to it? Howard Cosell, you've been there with Muhammad Ali. You've seen the greats come and go. Here you are at ABC working with James Alvin Palmer, with Keith Jackson, and yet you stand here. Diminutive in size in many ways, but in the same standpoint, a man utterly dominating his field.
I think, young man, you've got a bounty of talent. Gabe Kaplan and Billy Crystal have done exactly what you have just done. The thing for you to do is get into show business quickly and have a short-lived career.
What about Kit Jackson? You talk about, oh boy, you talk about Howard Cosell and Kit Jackson. You talk about what happens on a given Saturday with the Texas Tech Red Raiders, and you talk about college football. I tell you, Howard, you get into a college football situation where a Buck Bellew or a Herschel Walker and fumble, boy, I tell you, huh?
Now that you do very well, because it has within it the elements of an educated satire.
One might ask you then quite directly, very candidly, why do you continue to immerse yourself in a business of which you're obviously far overqualified to perform in?
That's very simple. For several $1 million a year, for a lot of years.
The World Series always presents a challenge for players of both teams. Each player's role is to be ready. Each participant has his own ritual, a time-worn regimen. He's a lonely performer, oblivious to the masses, lost in a sea of concentration. It's a grueling, sometimes frightening waiting game. But when thrust upon center stage, he must be prepared for anything. Game 5, and after the frantic pace of Game 4, Jerry Royce hopes to set a more peaceable tone.
ABC Sports presents the 1981 World Series. Live from Dodger Stadium, it's the Yankees against the Dodgers. Yesterday, Game 4, a key pinch hit home run by Jay Johnstone with a man on brought the Dodgers back in the ball game. They had been trailing by 3. A series of Yankee mistakes, costly all over again, including one unfortunate occurrence, a pop fly to right field lost by Jackson in the sun. Finally, reliever Steve Howe came on to hold the fort, but just barely. That drive by Randolph just short. So it's game number 5 today.
And hello again, everyone. I'm Al Michaels. Welcome to game number 5 at Dodger Stadium. I don't know how much you believe in the home field advantage. I know that these two teams feel very strongly about it because the Yankees won at home in games 1 and 2, but the Dodgers have come back to even the series by winning Friday and yesterday. So we're down to a best of 3, and the Dodgers at one point, down 2 games to nothing, are attempting to become the 8th team in World Series history to bounce back from that deficit. The starting pitchers today in Game 5, 2 lefties, Ron Guidry for the Yanks, Jerry Royce for the Dodgers. We'll be right back. Friday night, Jim mentioned how the Dodgers have been slumping in postseason, hitting just .204, but all of a sudden, they've exploded. Last 2 games, 13 runs, 25 hits. The offense back in gear, obviously.
Well, they've done things that they did all year long. They came in here Friday night. They got a clutch 3-run home run from Ron Cey in the 1st inning. Yesterday, he got a key hit. Jay Johnstone pinch hit in the 6th inning with the Yankees ahead 6-3, put them within 1 by hitting a pinch home run way deep in right field. And then we have Davey Lopes, who's probably the catalyst. He's been getting on base, stealing some bases.
And of course, you've got Steve Garvey with 8 hits in the series already.
And here you see in the 1st inning him single in right field, one of his first of 3 hits. And then one of the unusual high choppers we've seen, either in front of the Yankee infielders or over their heads. Again in the 3rd. And trailing 4-2, he doubles into the corner, eventually to score on Ron Cey's single to left.
For the Yankees, of course, Reggie Jackson back in the lineup for the first time yesterday, 3 for 3 plus 2 walks. Dave Winfield, though, mired in a slump. He is 0 for 14 through the first 4 games of the World Series. But what has really done in the Yankees has been the mental transgressions, the physical mistakes, in particular defensively and on the base paths. Here's what happened yesterday. 4th inning yesterday, 1 out. Willie Randolph at second base. Batter is Dave Winfield. Ground ball left side. Randolph makes the fundamental mistake of trying to advance on a grounder to the left side. Billy Russell to Ron Cey, who runs him down, tags him out between 2nd and 3rd. Then in the 6th inning, with the Dodgers trailing by 1, Reggie Jackson having trouble with a fly ball by Davey Lopes, loses it in the sun, runs a zigzag route, hits him in the chest. Dodgers go on to tie the game. Scores 6-6. 7th inning. Aurelio Rodriguez leads off for the Yankees with a drive toward the gap in left center. Pedro Guerrero goes a long way to cut the ball off in left center. Throw back into Bill Russell, getting the sliding Rodriguez. Rodriguez as he rounds first base. A slight hesitation, trying to beat the throw, then makes the mistake of not going to the inside of the bag. Thrown out, the leadoff batter in that inning. Bottom of the 7th now. Rick Monday at the plate. Game still tied. Man on, nobody out. Bobby Brown misjudging the fly ball off the bat of Monday. The Dodgers go on to score 2 in the inning, take the lead 8-6. That play by Brown in center, the subject of a lot of controversy, inasmuch as most people felt that Jerry Mumphrey should have been in defensively at that spot in the game. But he was on the bench, and you knew that George Steinbrenner, the owner of the Yankees, would have something to say about that. Steinbrenner discussed the situation with Howard Cosell.
George, up in the booth, we couldn't believe that Mumphrey was never inserted into the lineup for defensive reasons. Did you in any way order the manager not to use Mumphrey under any circumstances?
Absolutely not. We had discussed this thing. Bob had the theory, and our coach had the theory that we could get more punch in the lineup because we were getting no production out of Mumphrey and Winfield in the 2nd and 3rd spots. I think Dave's had no hits and 20 at-bats in the World Series and 2 hits and 30-some at-bats if you go back to the playoffs. And we must have those men on base. And Bob felt we could get more offense in by Oscar Gamble and moving him into the lineup and Reggie into the lineup. And it's true, we did. We scored 7 runs. Bob can't help it if our pitchers don't hold up. Now, late in the game, we all thought he'd put Mumphrey in for defensive purposes, but he went with Bobby Brown instead, and of course that hurt us. But no, there was never any order from me not to play Mumphrey.
Another thing that did the Yankees in yesterday, the men left on base, they left a dozen. The Dodgers left 10. We'll be back in a moment and chat with both managers.
Well, I was going to save Jerry back to pinch hit. I'd rather have him pinch hitting than Brown in case we needed him. But it didn't arise, and when Reggie hit the last time, if we were ahead, Mumphrey had gone into center and Brown had gone into right. That's the way we, defensed him through the years. He plays center, and he plays right, and he plays left.
Well, you were saving him for a pinch hitter. The 9th inning, of course, comes along, and you go to 2 others, Barry Foote and Bobby Mercer, instead of Mumphrey in those situations.
Well, he's the way I see it, he's had problems lately against hitting against left-handed pitching, being a switch hitter, and he swings the bat good, swinging the bat good against right-handed pitching.
Lem, you had to use Tommy John in relief who normally would have been the starting pitcher in game number 6. What about your rotation now and your plans for the balance of the series?
Well, it'll be Tommy John and Righetti, if it goes that far. And Tommy John is relieved. Relieved for me here in 78 and against California, and he struck out 3 hitters on 9 pitch balls. And he's a ground ball pitcher, and it's his day to throw. He throws every day, but it was his normal day to throw, and he volunteered.
You wouldn't be concerned then, despite pitching 2 innings, coming back on 2 days rest?
No, he pitched an inning 2/3, and he would throw probably more than that in the bullpen.
Got to be feeling pretty good right now. 2 games apiece. What do you think the effect of a win like yesterday's has on the Dodgers today?
Well, you're right, Al. I do feel great because of the fact that we were down 2-0, and we came back and won 2 big ball games. And the way we won that one yesterday was the most gratifying one of them all, because we were really behind early, and we battled, and we kept coming back. I'll tell you something. To get even right now, this, to me, is a very, very pivotal ball game. It's now a best of 3, and whoever wins this ball game right now should be in the driver's seat.
Indeed, the best of 3 with Game 5 coming up at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. The Yankees and the Dodgers. Catcher. A lot of thrills, a lot of great memories. Perhaps number 1, though, 25 years ago in New York. The scene for Game 5 of the 1956 World Series, Yankee Stadium in New York. In the 5th inning, Don Larson had been perfect. Gil Hodges with a drive to deep left center field. Mickey Mantle on the dead run, backhanding it. Larson goes to the 9th inning. He had retired 26 straight. And with 2 strikes on Dale Mitchell, called strike 3. A perfect game as Yogi Berra leaps into the arms of Larson. The only perfect game in World Series history. Game 5, 25 years ago. Today in Game 5 of the 1981 World Series, the starting pitchers, left-hander Jerry Royce on the mound for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and he'll be opposed by left-hander Ron Guidry of the New York Yankees. Stay tuned for Game 5 from Los Angeles, coming right up.
Let's go. In Dodger Town, the fans are filled with a Dodger frenzy, and why not? Their team has come back to even.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Dodger Stadium, game number 5, the 1981 World Series. No need to embellish the drama. The first 2 games were characterized by some media people as dull, but now they're scrambling to retract. The last 2 games have been as exciting as can be. Good matchup today, Royce against Guidry, maybe a 3rd straight wild game. In the meantime, we get ready now to go right down to the field, and our public address announcer, Mr. John Ramsey.
And now, to honor America, here to sing our national anthem is the star of the National Company of Evita, currently in Los Angeles, Lonnie Ackerman, accompanied by Helen Dell at the Dodger Stadium Hammond organ.
Oh, say, can you see spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Lonnie Ackerman.
Here's your chance to get the official 1981 World Series program, a collector's item commemorating the 78th Fall Classic. Send check or money order for $4 to World Series program, Post Office Box 250, Hicksville, New York 11802. Please make checks payable to World Series program. New York residents must add appropriate sales tax. That's World Series program, Box 250, Hicksville, New York. Allow 8 weeks for delivery. The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
Starting lineup for the Yankees, leading off Willie Randolph, batting second Larry Milburn, Dave Winfield third, hoping to get started, and then the big man Reggie Jackson. After him, the big man for the Yankees during the series, Bob Watson. Then Lou Piniella in there today against the southpaw, followed by Rick Cerrone. Then Aurelio Rodriguez, Nettle still out. Finally, Ron Guidry.
And for the Dodgers defensively, Steve Garvey having a great series, 8 for 16 at first base. At second base, getting untracked yesterday with a couple of hits and a couple of runs batted in. Davey Lopes. Bill Russell, the shortstop, drove in the tying run in the 6th inning yesterday. And Ron Say having a fine series. Friday night's hero at third. The outfield, it's Dusty Baker around and left trying to get on track. In center field today, the Dodgers go with yesterday's defensive replacement as a starter, Darryl Thomas, and Pedro Guerrero in right. Getting the start is Steve Yeager, starting for the 4th time in the 5 games. And on the mound, the starter in Game 1, Tuesday in New York, Jerry Royce. In Game 1, Royce lasted only 2 2/3 innings. That was the earliest he was knocked out this season. So Jerry Royce, long career and good success, but pitching in the World Series for the first time. Started his career with the Cardinals, went to Houston, Pittsburgh, and time called here. Dusty Baker out in left field doing some house cleaning. That is taken care of, and we'll get underway with Willie Randolph to lead things off. Randolph, Milburn, and Winfield. Willie just 2 for 10 in the series, but he's really been a pest. He's walked 6 times and reached on an error. So he's been on base on 9 occasions. 1-0 the count. Check the umpires today. American Leaguer Rich Garcia back of the plate. Dick Stello at first. Larry Barnett at second. And Nick Colosi at third. Cooney down the line and left. Harvey down the line and right. And Royce quickly falls behind to Randolph. 2-0.
We have an American League umpire behind the plate with an inside protector. Royce is going to have to keep the ball down and get some strikes today. If you characterize Richie Garcia, he, what I would say, is a hitter's umpire. He makes you throw strikes, and the hitters know that.
Shot foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. They talked about Friday's game being a twilight game, but as we pointed out in the 3rd inning, the lights had full effect on Friday. This will be a twilight game. Of course, we went to standard time last night. You can see where the shadow is already. And a good part of the game will be played in the shade. 3-2.
There you saw the high fastball. If there's anything that you would say that Royce did wrong in New York in the first game was get the ball up in the strike zone.
Randolph on a check swing. Bounces down to Garvey. Shovels to Royce, covering in time to get Randolph. 1 away in the first inning. And the man has shown up today.
Yes, he has. Yesterday, Lasorda started to engage in some badinage with me. And I said, Frank here? He said, no, he'll be here tomorrow. And I said, you mean Frank Torrey?
Larry Milburn.
Lasorda's office is like a Sinatra museum.
And an Italian restaurant. Larry Milburn, 4 for 14 in the series. Little chopper down to Lopes, who has to charge. Throw on the run. Get him. 2 grounders to the right side, and quickly 2 down in the first inning. And up comes the man trying to get on track, Dave Winfield.
Here an easy play for Davey Lopes. High chopper. Milburn does not run as well from the right side.
2 out and the base is empty. No score. This is the final game to be played here. Teams are off tomorrow. Game 6 Tuesday in New York. Game 7 if necessary Wednesday in New York. Dave Winfield not only 0 for 14 in the World Series, but he was hitless in the final game against Oakland in the American League Championship Series. So he's 0 for his last 19. 1-1. The thing about Winfield, though, he is not really a weak 0 for 14 in this series. Hit a couple of shots yesterday that just missed going out.
Well, he's developed warning track power. Everything goes to the warning track, but not over.
That's a bad habit to have as a hitter.
1-1.
He's got quite a seat.
What is that? What is he doing up there? Back of the pavilion in right field. One way to get in. They're sold out.
Winfield fouling it away in the count. 1-2.
And there you saw the cut fastball Royce throws too. He throws one with the seams and runs away, and this is a fastball that sails in. He cuts it in on the right-handed batters. Tough pitch to handle. And if you're Jerry Royce and you go back over the first game that you pitched in New York and you criticize the problems that you had, you'd say, number one, I got behind the hitters. Number two, all my pitches were up. And so far, you've seen Royce do just the opposite. He's getting ahead of the hitters with a 1-2 count on Winfield. Made a good pitch on Milbourne to jam him and get the easy roller to Lopes.
And he strikes Winfield out. So Jerry Royce with a quick 1-2-3 inning. Didn't see many of those yesterday. After a half, it's the Yankees nothing and the Dodgers coming up.
Starting lineup for the Dodgers, the catalyst being that again, Davey Lopes. Then Bill Russell, a big man yesterday. Steve Garvey, a big man throughout the series. Ron Cey, the cleanup man, and a big man. Dusty Baker still struggling. Pedro Guerrero, always dangerous. Steve Yeager, who's been a stick-out throughout the series. Darrell Thomas, the versatile one. And finally, Jerry Royce, the pitcher.
And quickly, the Yankee defense. Bob Watson at first base. He's been there for all 5 games. At second is Willie Randolph. The Yankee shortstop in place of the injured Bucky Dent. Doing a fine job in postseason. Larry Milbourne. Again, Aurelio Rodriguez at third with Nettles out. In the outfield today, Lou Piniella gets the start against the left-hander in left field. In center field, Dave Winfield, who started there yesterday. And around in right, Reggie. Back of the plate for the Yankees, Rick Cerrone. And the pitcher, Ron Guidry. Pitched well in game number 1, giving up just 1 run, 4 hits, and 7 innings of work. Gossage picked up the save in game 1 on Tuesday. Ron's career World Series record is 3-0 with a 1.44 ERA. All of his starts against the Dodgers. No score, bottom of the first inning. Davey Lopes, the batter, looks at a strike. Lopes 2 hits yesterday, drove in 2 runs, and scored a couple.
They talk about Lopes retiring, maybe even at the end of this season. Doubtful. The guy still makes the big plays. A real catalyst of the club.
And there you saw the Ron Guidry slider to run the count in 1-2. That is the pitch that the Dodgers are going to have the most difficulty with today. If they lay off the bad ones, they're going to get Guidry to throw his fastball away. Throws exceptionally hard, around 92 miles per hour the first game in New York.
And down goes Lopes. So Guidry starts with a strikeout. 1 away in the first inning.
He has a remarkable record, Al, for not giving up a run in the first inning of a ball game. It's hard to remember when that happened last.
It's interesting. Some pitchers are that way. Others try to rectify early inning jitters by altering and changing constantly their warm-up routines. Russell popping it up. Third baseman Rodriguez is there and makes the catch. What Guidry ought to do, Jim, is patent whatever his warm-up routine is. He's obviously ready every time he comes out of the bullpen to the mound.
Well, that's true. You see a lot of guys go out there maybe 10 minutes early because they have trouble in the early innings, and it's the most difficult time. You just don't know what you have. You're not used to the mound.
And Jim, he has not given up an earned run in the first inning in this entire season.
Well, that's an amazing statistic. It's hard to believe.
Steve Garvey, 8 hits in 16 trips in the series, and also a couple of very loud outs. 283 during the regular season. Going inside. The leaders, minimum 60 at-bats. Lou Brock, 391 career average. Reggie number 2, Garvey number 5. Garvey hits it in the air to right center field. Winfield coming in, but they'll have to play it on the hop. And Garvey is aboard with a base hit.
He keeps doing it. Interestingly, though, he was batting .500 in the series when he went up to the plate then. He's 7 for 9 with the bases empty. He's only 1 for 7 with runners on base. That yesterday's infield single. But he's on base.
And he's now hit safely in 17 of his last 18 games.
Well, I would say there's probably a reason for why he hits better when there's nobody on is that the pitcher probably doesn't bear down as much. There you have a 1-0 count. He doesn't want to get behind him, and he gave him a pitch to hit. He didn't hit it very hard, but he's strong enough when Guidry got the ball in to fight it off, even though he did loop it into center field for a base hit.
Look around Dodger Stadium, and you can see where the shadows are right now, and they will extend out toward the playing field as we go along. Very shortly, they'll be between the mound and the plate. 1-2 pitch on the way. Is fouled back. You know what's interesting, Jim? We talk so much about games in the shade and the problems that hitters have. What people don't often talk about, umpires oftentimes have problems seeing the ball in the shade.
Well, it does, and I think yesterday both sides, talking to the players, felt that Doug Harvey missed a lot of pitches. And under no circumstances am I saying he's a bad umpire, but because umpires have games like that, as pitchers have poor games and hitters also. But they felt a lot of pitches should have been strikes on both sides were called balls, and a lot of times the umpire has the same problem the hitter does. He can't pick up the spin on the ball, and it's a reaction type game. The hitter's up there trying to react on a 90-mile-per-hour fastball. The umpire is supposed to be perfect and get better as he goes along. It's a very tough job.
2-2 pitch is low, so the count is full on Ron Say. And with 2 down, we'll see Garvey moving with the pitch from first base. 3-2 pitch is ball 4. Runners at first and second with 2 down in the first inning.
So Guidry having first inning troubles. Not been scored on yet, but it may be the beginning of a change of pattern for him. Remember, Guidry has not been. There's George Steinbrenner. Patten and pinstripes. He has not been Guidry, the steady pitcher that he was for the better part of the season for the last 4 to 5 weeks.
Rod working on Baker. Dusty trying to shake a slump. Looks at a strike. Baker just 2 for 15 in the World Series. And he was hitless in his last 4 at-bats in the National League Championship Series. 2 for his last 19 overall. 1-1 the count. Baker lining it to left field. Piniella coming on, makes the catch despite staggering. Lou starting to fall down, goes to his knees and makes the play.
Not a very good pitch in the middle of the plate. Baker hits it hard. But Piniella makes a fine play. May have had little problems with the stands. Here again, Lou has it all the way.
And the inning is over. So the Dodgers go down. No runs, a hit, leave a couple after 1, no score. Al Michaels with Howard Cosell and Jim Palmer. We go to the second inning at Dodger Stadium, Game 5. No score, with Reggie Jackson to lead off for the Yankees. Bob Watson and Lou Piniella to follow. Reggie looks at a strike. Reggie reaching base safely 5 times yesterday. Only the 7th time in World Series history that had been accomplished. Reggie lining it fair down the left field line, so he's aboard again. And Dusty Baker, with the ball still in play, picks it up and gets it back in. Jackson has a double.
This much must be said for that man. They boo him everywhere he goes. He doesn't run a popularity contest, as you look at this again. Incidentally, his batting average against lefties in World Series has been extremely good, above indeed 380. As he moves in for a double into the left field corner, ball sticking against the wall. But give him this, he's a remarkable performer. The dramatic flair doesn't have to be overemphasized. It's just remarkable the way he hit the home run yesterday coming back.
Bob Watson having a fine series. Rifles it foul off the top of the Yankee dugout, halfway back into the lower deck, 0-1.
Against Jerry Royce, Bob Watson is hitting .500, 11 for 22 in his career.
We're ready now in the 2-2 pitch. He goes to the right side to advance the runner, and Davey Lose makes a nice play, but Dan can't make the play at first base. Lopes went a long way to handle the ground ball. Had it, couldn't hold on, and it cost him. The Yankees with runners at first and third.
Well, Watson showed himself as the professional. As you look again, he just reached out and guided that ball to the right side to advance Jackson. It was perfectly placed. It had eyes, and that's why it became in the ultimate a difficult play for Davey.
Lopes charged with an error. And with no score and nobody out in the second inning, the Yankees with runners at first and third, and Lou Piniella. His figures there for the regular season, 4 for 11 in the World Series. Infield a double play depth. 1-1. Reggie Jackson at third. Bob Watson held on by Garvey at first. Grounded toward the hole. That's a base hit to score a clapping Reggie Jackson. And Watson pulls in at second. Reggie applauding as he came across home plate, and the Yankees take a 1-0 lead in the second inning. Lou Piniella will go to right when he has to and go to left when he has to.
It was a high fastball, and Lou showed the quickness of his swing. It was a ground ball. Probably would have been a double play ball had it been at Russell, but was in the middle of the plate, and he got out in front and pulled it in the hole.
Now Rick Cerrone with runners at first and second. Say playing even with a bag at third as Cerrone looks at a strike. Positioning of Ron and the rest of the Dodger infield with nobody out and runners at first and second. Strike one pitch. Chopper hit to Russell. He goes to Lopes for one. Davey to first. Double play. Jerry Royce gets 2 big outs, and Watson advances to third.
Jerry throws a nice low fastball. Cerrone hits it in the dirt. Perfect double play ball. Rick not known for his speed. And there you see the pivot. Lopes, excellent throw to Garvey. Doing what a shortstop should do. He comes in, knows he has a chance for 2, and Lopes makes a nice throw for the DP.
With 2 out, and Watson at third, Aurelio Rodriguez. Bob Watson 90 feet away as Rodriguez, the number 8 hitter, stands in. Aurelio with his 3rd straight start. Breaks his bat, hits it down to Russell at short, and Bill throws him out. So the Yankees in the inning settle for 1 run, 2 hits. The Dodgers make an error. A man left on through an inning and a half at Dodger Stadium. It's the Yankees 1 and the Dodgers nothing. Bottom of the second inning in Game 5 of the 1981 World Series. The Yankees leading it 1-0 with Pedro Guerrero, Steve Yeager, and Darryl Thomas coming up for the Dodgers, who had been slumping in postseason play despite their success. Interestingly now, though, the Dodgers have had a man on in the last 22 consecutive innings. To center field, deep but playable for Winfield, and Dave makes the catch. Edge of the track.
You saw Winfield motion. He had it under control. Many years ago, Red Barber taught a lot of fans in the early days of baseball broadcasts how to watch a fly ball. Look at the outfield. He would tell them, and you can tell whether he's got a bead on the ball or it's gone.
Steve Yeager, 1 for 6.
Of course, yesterday we saw Yeager with the pinch hit sacrifice fly for the winning, not the winning run, but put him ahead.
Deep left field. Lou Piniella going all the way back, leaps up, and it's off the wall. Winfield plays the carom, and Yeager has it double.
Steve Yeager has become one of the more interesting people in this series. His candor in wanting to be traded, yet the excellence of his performance because of his frequent opportunity to play because of opposing southpaw pitches.
There you saw the nice effort by Piniella. Guidry had an 0-2 count. And here again you see Lou going back. Doesn't have time to get back to the wall, but almost catches the ball as you see him jump high as he can. Ball hits off his glove. Winfield heads up again, is backing up. Guidry had him 0-2 and threw him a slider in the middle of the plate. Not a very good pitch, but Yeager took advantage of it. Almost a home run. Another foot. The game's tied.
Steve just missing. He's at second with 1 out. And Darryl Thomas, the switch hitter, playing center field today. 0-1 the count. That fence in the outfield here is 8 feet high.
Here's an unusual with first base open. I know Thomas only hit 200 on the year. You would wonder if they would walk him and pitch to Royce.
Thomas lifts it in the air to left center field. Winfield gets a very late start. In trouble now. And Dave makes the catch.
Because he misjudged it, because he was in trouble. But look at this again. It was a truly remarkable effort. Only a man with his loping strides, look at them, like an antelope, 6 feet to a step, and they're just in time. That's why we have emphasized his greatness as an athlete.
With a stymied attack, the Yankees have to resort to their stingy ways of games 1 and 2. And here, Winfield is a key contributor.
A remarkable catch by Winfield. Having problems at Dodger Stadium, not uncommon in the outfield, in particular at this time of day in center field. Jerry Royce at the plate, fouling it away.
Well, we saw that yesterday. A pivotal play in yesterday's game was Bobby Brown misjudging the ball off Rick Monday's bat.
Different time of day, though, Jim.
A little bit later.
Much easier catch. This guy can hit, as you see from that graphic. Dangerous with runners in scoring position. He, too, an exceptional all-around athlete. Fields his position very well.
0-1 pitch. And the count 0-2. 2 out. Yeager with a double at second. So the Dodgers have now had a man on in 23 consecutive innings. You have to go back to the 4th inning of the second game when the Dodgers went out in order. Called strike 3. Jerry Royce is gone, and so the Dodgers leave a runner in scoring position, and we'll move to the 3rd at Dodger Stadium. It's the Yankees 1 and the Dodgers nothing. Take another look now at that catch made by Winfield. After first going back on the ball and all the way in with a long stride and making a great play. 3rd inning. The Yankees ahead 1-0. Ron Guidry coming up, to be followed by Willie Randolph and Larry Milburn. Guidry 0-2 in game 1. 0-1 the count. Royce with a 1-2 delivery. Yeager can't hold on. Steve shaking off the bare hand.
Here you see Guidry fighting off a 2-strike curveball. Showed he was a pretty good hitter. He sacrificed over in New York. Lined out to left.
Ball strike 3. Jerry Royce handles him here. And the Dodger left-hander has his 2nd strikeout. So 1 down in the 3rd inning. Willie Randolph, the batter. 3-2 offering is ball 4. Royce wanted that one. So Willie Randolph with his 7th walk in the series.
And that's something you don't see him do very often. The 2nd in the National League behind Gaylord Perry, averaged under 2 walks.
You've used the term cutting the ball a number of times. Why don't you explain to the viewers?
Well, you can throw a fastball, you hold it off center, and if you're left-handed, the ball will just come in like a fastball and it'll just kind of sail into him. It's a very effective pitch from a guy like Royce to a right-handed hitter because it looks like a fastball and just moves toward him. They hit a lot of the balls up on the handle. We saw this the last time with Milburn, who's up now. He ran the fastball in on him.
Testimony to the way Royce holds runners aboard. Line into left field, and that will fall in for a base hit in front of Baker. Randolph pulling in at 2nd. Hit number 3 off Jerry Royce. So Dave Winfield.
Now, as George Steinbrenner openly said earlier on Sports Beat, Winfield is, in effect, he said, is paralyzing this team because of his failures thus far at the plate. There is George, obviously nervous. What he thought might become a breeze after the 2nd Yankee victory has become indeed turmoil.
Well, they need to win this game. It's not a must game because there could be 2 following this, but a hit from Winfield or a Winfield that's productive offensively would definitely allow them to score more runs.
He's over-eager. You just saw it. He's swinging at every first pitch. You notice, Jim?
Well, that's true, and as we said yesterday, he did that on numerous occasions. But also, I'm sure he's not seeing the ball well, either because of the shadows and the fact that he's slumping. Any hitter you ever talk to says when things are going bad, they have trouble picking up the ball coming out of the pitcher's hand, and there was a perfect illustration, chasing a bad pitch.
0-1 to Winfield. Chop to third. Ron Say goes to Davy Lopes for 1. Back on to Garvey, not in time there. Milburn is erased at second as Randolph advances to third. Winfield at first.
Right fielder.
And with 2 down, we'll see Reggie.
Here you see a good pitch from Royce. Winfield chases. Say makes sure he gets 1. You'll see the throw, but Winfield has excellent speed, as we've said all during the series, and beats the throw to first.
But still a big out in a situation where Winfield had a chance to open up the ball game. So in effect, he failed.
Here's Reggie with 2 singles, a home run, a double, and a couple of walks. On base 6 straight times. Looks at a strike. 0-1. 0-1 pitch. Lays off. 1-1. Reggie fouling it away well back into the upper deck. And the count is 1-2. Crowd starting to build with 2 strikes. They want the K.
Fastball away. Perfect pitch. Reggie swings right through it. Big strikeout for Royce.
Lopes, Russell, and Garvey.
Second time around, and these are the dangerous guys.
0-1 to Lopes.
Save for cleanup.
Center, Winfield staggered a bit, in control now. 1 away.
Magic Johnson is here.
Bill Russell.
Michigan State alumnus. Los Angeles Laker.
Played with our producer Dennis Lewin at Michigan State, didn't he?
If he did, it would be a major story.
Big basket last night in the Lakers win.
Bill Russell looks at a strike, 0-1.
Unless the Magic one was then small enough to play midget basketball.
No, that was Chet 40. Grounded to third as Rodriguez backs up and gets it. 2 down.
And here's an important man you see right there, Aurelio Rodriguez. Probably the best backup second baseman in the American League.
Third baseman.
Excuse me. Yes, he is playing third. And I'm sure that Ron Guidry will take advantage of him today.
Steve Garvey, .529 average in the 5 games.
It's really amazing. 9 hits. Getting hits with the profusion of Bobby Richardson in the 1960 series against Pittsburgh.
0-1. And remember, too, it was Garvey who hit the ball on which Nettles made the great play in Game 1 for an out.
Oh, yes. That stabbing catch, that savage line drive.
Garvey alone. What a play by Nettles at third base. I've never seen such a burglar.
Started to hop off the mound.
He really thought he had it. It was close.
Well, that's where you ask the umpire whether it was high or was it outside, or was it both?
Well, Ron thought it came in.
Fouled away. Richardson, Howard. He and Lou Brock sharing the series record for most hits in the World Series, 13. Garvey's on that sort of pace right now. And foul tip held by Cerrone for strike 3. Steve Garvey becomes Guidry's third strikeout victim. Ron has struck out 1 in each of the first 3 innings. We'll move along to the 4th in Game 5. It's 1-0 Yankees.
Quiet man from Dawtown, Ohio, who led the Dodgers, as we have told you, to their first World Series victory ever, 1955, and then 3 more after that. Remember when he became the manager? Could he handle Robinson? Could he handle Ferrella? Could he handle Snyder? Some of the unbridled ones. Well, he did.
Bob Watson leads off in the 4th. Not only did he handle them, but he handled all of them under 1-year contracts all the way down the line.
Probably would have asked for a long-term contract if he didn't have players that could perform as well as they could.
Never wrote a letter to Walter O'Malley the way Chuck Dressen, the late Chuck Dressen, did under the guidance of his wife that got him fired.
You saw Lou Piniella waiting on deck with a count of 2 balls, no strikes on Watson. Bob reached on an error in the 2nd inning. 3-0. Now you can see that the pitcher's mound and the plate area encased in shadow, but the ball is still coming out of the sunlight. Watson aboard on 4 pitches. Jerry Royce yielding his second base on balls. And Ron Perinoski comes out of the Dodger dugout. Pay a visit.
He's doing this, I'm sure, because as Jim has noticed, Royce doesn't seem comfortable out there. Jim's commented on it, and he's getting in and out of trouble, and that could reach a breaking point.
Well, that he is, but what makes it more difficult is when Watson comes up and hitting as well as he has and getting the 3-run home run, you have to pitch carefully. And as we said yesterday, pitchers are human. Some days you can make good pitches and some days you can't. Right now, it seems to me that Royce is struggling. He's struggling with his control. And he's just getting a lot of the balls in the center of the plate. And I guess he felt that he couldn't do that to Watson and wasn't able to make a good pitch.
Lou with a base hit in the 2nd inning, driving in the game's only run thus far. Yankees 1, Dodgers nothing. In the 4th.
He could possibly look for a hit and run, trying to get another runner in scoring position. Lou handles the bat extremely well.
Royce keeping it inside on him. 1-1.
Who was the best Stewart in the bullpen, the best hit and run hitter you've seen, Jim, in your career?
Well, 1965, when I came up in spring training, Dick Grote played for St. Louis, who was excellent, I think, in the American League. Cookie Rojas, best handlers of the bat I've ever seen, especially on the high pitch.
That was a good pitch by Royce, my friend.
And Lou way out in front, lunging at it.
That's basically what you can say about pitchers. When you make the good pitches, a lot of times you get an out. If you make a bad one, it gives the hitter a chance to get a better chance to really hit the ball.
Piniella hits it down to Davey Lopes at second, drops it, and has only 1 play, and after hesitating, throws it into the Yankee dugout. So what started out as if it might be a double play, all of a sudden turns into 2 men aboard for the Yankees, and with the ball going into the dugout, the umpire is going to rule that Watson will be allowed to score, and Lasorda is going to come out and plead the case with third base umpire Nick Colosi.
Judgment call, though.
They're going to bring him back. They're going to bring him back to third. Tommy said, what is this?
On an outfield throw, you get 2 bases, but Watson was going to second. And here, Lopes is thinking 2. Now he's thinking 1, and he just doesn't get it. You can see that he doesn't get a good grip when the ball comes out of his hand, and then he makes a bad throw to complicate matters even worse.
Now Bob Lemon pleading his case and getting the interpretation with the ball going all the way into the Yankee dugout. They'll send Watson back to third. And Piniella will be at second. They have given Lopes 2 errors on the play. And he now has 3 thus far today. So runners at second and third. Dodger infield. Russell is moving back at short with Lopes in at second, and Say about even with the bag at third. Cerrone hits one down to Russell, and despite Billy being back, Watson will hold at third as they get the out at first base. So Watson remains there with Pennell at second. That was interesting. Russell moved in as if he was going to play in, then kept looking into the dugout and kept moving back. And despite Billy being back, Watson holds at third.
What's interesting here is the continuity of pattern. The Yankees blew scoring opportunities in the second. Even though they got one run, they had a couple of men on base, nobody out, run in. Here comes the intentional walk. In the third, left a couple on base when Reggie himself struck out. And if they blow another one here, it'll be much like yesterday when they had nothing but men left on base through the early innings and just didn't capitalize. It's an interesting pattern.
As I said, the interesting thing there was that Russell looked like he was playing in and kept looking into the dugout, and as Royce went into his motion, Billy moved back a couple of steps.
Be that as it may, the Dodgers have been capitalizing on Yankee mistakes. The Yankees have not been capitalizing on Dodger mistakes.
Ron Guidry. Guidry bluffing a bunt. 1-0. Positioning in the infield. Russell is halfway. Lopes more than halfway in. Garvey even with a bag at first. Laying down the bunt. Fielded by Royce. Comes home to Yeager for the force. So Guidry with the bases loaded. Trying to bunt home a run, but Jerry Royce down off the mound and doing his job, and they throw out the lead man.
And here you see the bunt right back to Royce. He makes a nice play because the ball does short hop him, but Watson would not a whole lot of speed is easily out at home. And there's a difference between the American League and the National League again with the designated hitter rule. You wouldn't have that situation.
So 2 down with the bases still loaded. Willie Randolph grounded out, drew a walk. 2 for 11 in the series.
This is a tough batsman, but let me tell you this. The Yankees, if Royce gets out of this, it'll certainly have an effect on the Yankees. Not one you'll read immediately on the scoreboard, but certainly on their psyches.
1-0 the count.
And here we'll see if Royce respects the fact that Randolph is willing to walk. We'll see if he gets a good pitch to hit.
Bases loaded, 2 down. Grounded sharply down to Garvey. Stays with it. Does it himself, and the Yankees have already left 6 men on base. I'm sure Steinbrenner noting that in his scorebook. After 3.5, it's the Yankees 1 and the Dodgers nothing. Go to the bottom of the 4th inning at Dodger Stadium. The Yankees on top 1-0. Series even at 2 games apiece. Game 6 in New York on Tuesday night. If a 7th is necessary, Yankee Stadium on Wednesday night. 1 run, 3 hits, and no errors for the Yanks. No runs, 2 hits, and 3 errors, all by Lopes for the Dodgers.
But again, the Yankees unable to capitalize. Give credit to this Dodger team. Give credit to Jerry Royce. He's working out of trouble consistently, may yet put it all together and blow them down. And now the difficult Ron Say.
Say, Baker, and Guerrero. Say walking in his only appearance thus far today. Curling foul. Out of play. 0-2. Say goes down swinging, and that's 4 strikeouts, the last 2 in succession for Guidry. Dusty Baker really struggling coming up. He's 2 for 16 in the World Series thus far, and Howard talked with him about his problems.
Dusty, quite candidly, you've been struggling. What's been wrong?
I've been struggling now the last couple of weeks. My timing's been wrong. My balance has been wrong. And I've been struggling to find my balance and my timing. And those are the 2 most important parts of hitting, because when they're off, your speed of your bat's off, your depth perception's off when to swing, and basically that's it. And, hopefully today I'll get going because I feel very positive, and I know it's just a matter of time until I hit.
Baker 0 for 1 today.
Well, he did hit a line shot in that one turn at bat when Piniella made the staggering catch and fell to his knees. Got good wood on it then. So maybe he's right. Maybe he'll come out of it today.
2-2.
Can't find a nicer guy than Dusty Baker. We used to come north with the Atlanta Braves when he played with Atlanta. He and Ralph Garr and people like that. Outstanding, not only outstanding players, but super guy.
Johnny B. Baker Jr. Well, his problems continue, and meanwhile, Guidry has struck out 3 in a row and 5 in the game. 2 down.
And like Dusty said, he has a real big swing, so a lot of things can go wrong. And when you're struggling, you don't see the ball. Guidry made an excellent pitch with his slider there. And things just compound each other.
But you touched on something the other day when he damaged his wrist up in Montreal, and this may be an aftermath. He's not feeling comfortable up there. He's being off rhythm, may be an aftermath. Subconsciously trying to protect the wrist.
Pedro Guerrero 0 for 1. With 3 successive strikeouts, 5 in the game, and he has set down 7 in a row and 8 of the last 9. Goes after a bad pitch, and the count is 0-2.
But real bad.
Well, it's almost the same pitch he hit deep to center field. If you characterize the Dodger team, they are free swinging. But the only guy that really has a whole lot of patience is Ron Cey. Guerrero was up there to hit the high fastball. He's a much better fastball hitter. And started him off with a slider, and then he chased a high, bad fastball. And there you saw the slider again.
Ron Guidry has struck out the side. He has struck out 4 in a row, 6 in the game. We've played 4, and it remains the Yankees 1 and the Dodgers nothing. Larry Milburn to lead off in the 5th inning and looks at a strike. Milburn, Winfield, and Jackson with the Yankees ahead 1-0. 0-1 pitch. Down to the plate, 0-2.
The more I see the Dodger pitching staff, the more I see how well the ball carries and how irregular the infield is here, the more I admire the fact that they were second in the National League in earned run average.
And when you go back through the years, the Dodgers seemingly have had a good pitching staff ever since they moved to Los Angeles.
We talked about the reason yesterday. It used to be the biggest park probably in the National League, with the exception of Houston, until they moved the fences in back in 1968.
Comebacker. Jerry Royce takes care of it.
He had Milburn completely reaching. I think Jerry Royce is a beautiful pitcher to watch. Never loses his poise, unruffled by pressure situations.
He's made some adjustments over the years, too. It wasn't that long ago, 5-6 years back, when Royce could just simply blow you away. Throw fastball after fastball, and he had several games in which he struck out 10 or more. Winfield 0 for 2. 0-1 the count.
Well, that time he did not swing at the first pitch.
And he's lucky he didn't.
First time this game.
As you said during the series, he likes to get his arms extended, and they're keeping the ball down or they're pitching him in.
Line to left field, and he finally gets that elusive first hit. So Dave Winfield 0 for 16 in the series thus far with a base hit.
There you see.
I think he wants the ball is what it is. Dave said, give me that ball. I've been waiting to play in a World Series. I want the ball. Dave Winfield, you can see him pointing for it right there.
Well, he can keep his sense of humor.
So they'll put it away for him. One for the trophy case, and here's a man who's got about 9 shelves worth of balls from the World Series, or should have anyway.
thought Jim made a very important point. There's Winfield getting the ball again. When he talked about Reggie's ability to hit it out in all directions here, there's his elation at finally getting his first World Series hit. There it is. Jim and I saw Reggie hit one out left field in the '77 series here.
Jackson, a chopper and a lope. Davey to second for one. Back to first, double play. So Reggie had been on 6 straight times, but they've taken care of him twice in succession. We're halfway through, middle of the 5th, still 1-0, New York.
Dave Winfield, hitless in 16 at-bats, is a chief culprit. But Winfield proves that good things come to those who hit line drive. The game's highest salaried star breaks the tension by asking for the ball like a wide-eyed souvenir hunter. It's a rare touch of levity in a tense one-run game.
Going to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Yankees on top 1-0.
Cleveland over Baltimore. Look at the day Bryant Saipat, 42-28. New Orleans upset Cincinnati. Buffalo beats Denver. And Detroit beats Green Bay.
Steve Yeager leads things off for the Dodgers. 0-1 the count. Other scores.
Oh, Dallas trying to beat Miami. Minnesota falling to St. Louis. Oh, what a league this year. Washington upsetting New England.
The 0-1 to Yeager is taken high. 1-1.
The Giants beat Atlanta in overtime. How about that? As Mel Allen would have said, the Bears leading San Diego.
Yeager popping it up. Rodriguez there on the left side. 1 out. That ends one string for Guidry. He had struck out 4 in a row, but keeps alive another. He has retired 9 in a row.
Seattle beating the Jets, as they almost always do. I think Pete Rozelle may have achieved his dream. The Eagles constant, beating Tampa Bay. He may have achieved an utterly mediocre league. Look at Oakland, 17-0 over Kansas City, and San Francisco beating the Rams. They know about that here in Dodger Town. They're not happy.
Thomas taking low, ball 1.
The thing about Ron Guidry is that the Dodgers hitter, after facing him in the first game, really felt he changed speeds a lot more than he did back in 1978. And first batter of this inning, Steve Yeager, he homered off him in New York on a high fastball away. He doubled, almost a home run here on a high slider. And that time he came back with a changeup, something that Yeager hasn't seen. Got him to pop to third base. We're seeing the Ron Guidry of 1981 at its best right now.
A strike in the count, 1-2. We may not have seen him at his best necessarily in game 1, but still he got the job done. 7 innings. Gossage came on.
Davis and Gossage.
Gossage did the, exactly. the positive job. Davis walking 2 in that game. 2-2 the count. Darryl Thomas 0 for 1 today and 0 for 3 in the series. Switch hitter.
We just saw an interesting thing, Jim, that you, as the great pitcher you are and have been, know very much about. Ron knew that he was beginning to work too quickly. He walked off to the back of the mound, steadied himself, paced himself, came back after having thrown 2 straight balls to Thomas.
Well, he made 2 pitches he didn't want to make, and I think the thing that pitchers do most is hurry up, and that can get you into trouble.
Thomas down on strikes. So Guidry now is 7 strikeouts. Has struck out 5 of the last 6. Guidry this season averaged 7.3. He was 3rd in the league per 9 innings.
It's really per 7 innings. I know Clyde King, the pitching coach, says that he doesn't send his pitchers out there to pitch 7 innings, but you know when they have a record of something like 55 out of 58 of leads they've gone into late inning ball games, you know the pitchers on the Yankee staff know if they go out there and pitch a good strong 7 innings, that Gossage is going to come in and do the job for him.
Jerry Royce, 1-0 the count. So this game in stark contrast to what we have seen in games 3 and 4. Pitchers duel today. Ball 2 to Royce.
But still a tough, tense, tight ball game, which can change with just one blow.
Well, as a pitcher, you know, one mistake can mean the ball game.
Got the corner, 2-1. Royce laying off, and the pitcher's away, so he's 3-1 on the pitcher.
3-1 on the opposing pitcher.
Davey Lopes on deck.
Goes back again, Jim. Settle down, steady himself.
Well, there's a reason for this, possibly, Howard. He's faced 8 straight right-handed hitters, and all of a sudden you have a pitcher come up. It's standing on the other
That's
side.
one of the best points yet. The value of an alternating lineup.
3-2 pitch is fouled away.
Frequently, if a southpaw faces a totally right-handed opposing lineup, he can get a bead on an outside corner and stifle the opposition.
Jerry Royce takes ball 4. As Cerrone was on his way to the dugout, so was Guidry. Second walk given up by Guidry.
Here you see the 3-2 fastball. He wants to throw it down the middle. Jerry Royce, being a rather tall guy, just a little bit low for ball 4.
You know what I have in mind, Jim? Back in the 50s, when the Yankee-Dodger World Series rivalry was in its prime, the Dodgers had a predominantly right-handed hitting lineup. Reese, Ferrillo, Robinson, Campanella, Hodges, all of them. And they had their greatest troubles against slow-balling left-handers who would get a bead on that outside corner. Examples, Johnny Schmitz, Kenny Heinzelman.
Davey Lopes, the batter. 1-0. You saw the ignominious graphic. What Davey has done with 3 errors today and 5 in the series, tying the all-time World Series record for second baseman. Chop to Milburn. Comes up throwing and dug out by Watson. Good play at both ends. No runs, no hits. Leave 1 through 5. Still Yanks 1, Dodgers nothing. Back in Los Angeles after this commercial and a word from our local stations.
The entire meaning of baseball is time. Baseball is how we get even with those relentless seconds and minutes and hours of life. While the game is being played, time miraculously changes. Baseball fever. Catch it. It's worth it.
The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
This is still anybody's ball game. A 1-0 game, anything can happen. I remember 1947, the World Series, and maybe you do too. Harry Lavagetto, they called him Cookie, pitch hitting, bottom of the 9th, 2 out, 2 on. A no-hitter for Bill Bevins up to that point. Lavagetto out to right field, off the tricky Ebbets Field wall. Both runners scored. The Dodgers won the game. Then in the 6th game, a tremendous blow by the Yankee Clipper Joe DiMaggio. But look, little John Frito, and DiMaggio disgusted. That was some series, Mr. Michaels.
Back, whoa, doctor, on that catch. Red Barber calling it. Bob Watson in the 6th inning. Yankees ahead 1-0. 0-1 the count. Watson hits it down to short. Russell stays with it and gets it.
Rose pitching him beautifully with the change of speed. Bob out in front.
Well, he can do that when he gets ahead of the hitters. Last couple innings, he's making much better pitches, what we would call, from a pitcher's standpoint, quality pitches.
Lou Piniella, his base hit in the 2nd inning, driving in the game's only run. In the air to right field, deep and playable. Guerrero is there and makes the play at the edge of the track. 2 down. Tommy Lasorda's wife. Lovely lady.
Yes, she is. And here's the man who's been, if the Yankees have a non-hero, if not quite a GOAT today, this would be he, Rick Cerrone. Got up with men on second and third. Quickly hit to the shortstop, never scored a runner. Then, first time up, hit into a double play with 2 on.
0-1 the count.
But on Sports Beat, Steinbrenner unhesitatingly said Cerrone will be back. Earlier, there had been rumors of a trade. But Rick has played very well in postseason play generally, and he'll be back.
Line to left field. Dusty Baker is right there, though, and makes the catch. So Cerrone gone. Yankees gone. 1, 2, 3. They go in the 6th. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th with a score. The Yankees 1 and the Dodgers nothing. Al Michaels with Howard Cosell and Jim Palmer as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Game 5 of the 1981 World Series. The series tied at 2 games apiece. The Yankees leading here 1-0, and the crowd coming to life with Russell, Garvey, and Say facing Guidry here in the 6th. Bill Russell takes 5, ball 1.
Key inning, it seems to me, for Guidry because of his tendency during the season to begin to weaken from here on out. Right, Jim?
Well, it is. He's coming right into the middle of their lineup, and to me, it's a key inning, but it's also very important to get Bill Russell out because you have Garvey following. You've had Say behind him, and even though Baker's not hitting, always a threat.
In there for a strike. That pitch was Guidry's 72nd of the game. And only 21 of them have missed the strike zone. Russell hits it in the air to left center field deep. Piniella on the move and makes the catch on the run on the track.
He got pretty decent wood on that pitch.
Well, again, it's probably because Guidry realizes 2-1. He doesn't want to walk him.
That's right. Fell behind. But there's Piniella on the catch.
Not a particularly difficult catch. Lou's a very underrated outfield. His job in the course of the American League is mostly to be a DH, a designated hitter. But if we go back to 78 in the playoffs and in the World Series, makes some great plays.
Garvey gets fooled, half swing strike. 0-1 on Steve. 1 for 2 today and 9 for 18 in the World Series. 2-2.
Ball is really dipping.
Well, that's his slider, and when you can throw a 2-1 slider and you can throw it in that particular spot, you're going to be very successful. That's why he has 7 strikeouts. There you saw another one.
Full count. He's walked 2 to go along with the 7 strikeouts. 3-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Gets away from Cerrone, but he'll throw him out at first. 8 strikeouts for Louisiana Lightning.
And here's a 3-2 slider. It's in the dirt, but that shows you what a great slider Guidry has. Garvey heads up, sees the ball bound away from Cerrone. Rick has an easy play. Makes a strong, accurate throw to Watson at first.
2 away. The Dodgers hitless since the 2nd inning when Yeager doubled with 1 out. Their only other hit, a single by Garvey in the 1st.
His little poison.
Ron Say, 0-1.
Used to call Paul Wayne a big poison, Lloyd Wayne a little poison, but they were both little fellas. Built in the manner of Ron Say, Paul was.
Well, you can see that Ron Say, you can look at his legs. That's where he gets a lot of his power. And his forearms are rather massive.
1-1.
Bob Turley lost that game in 10 innings to Clem Levine on a savage line drive over Enos Slaughter's head at Ebbets Field.
Say hits it sharply down to third, blocked and recovered by Rodriguez. Strong throw gets him. Aurelio gets in front of it and makes the play. 1 third baseman throwing out the other.
Hard ball hit right at him. He gets right in front of it, as you said, Al. And here you'll see a strong arm. Nice throw to Watson.
Aurelio going down on 1 knee, keeps it in front of him, has time to throw him out, and the Dodgers are gone in order. We'll go to the 7th inning at Dodger Stadium. 1-0 Yankees. Quickly paced game. Quite in contrast to games 3 and 4, we move along to the 7th inning of game number 5. Yankees 1, Dodgers nothing. Aurelio Rodriguez, Ron Guidry, and Willie Randolph to face Jerry Royce. Rodriguez 0 for 1. 0-1 the count.
This is one of the big second guess yesterday. Pinch hitting Barry Foote for Aurelio in the 9th inning, striking out on 3 pitches. Rio had 2 hits at that particular time of the ball game.
There were a lot of second guesses yesterday.
Well, as Al said, a second guesser's paradise. I suppose if Foote had gone up there and homered.
That wasn't one for the Art Museum yesterday, but people will be talking about that game for a long time.
I'm still looking for Mumford.
Grounded to the left side. Handled by Billy Russell. One away. One out of the base is empty, and Ron Guidry struck out. Grounded into a force at the plate when the Yankees had the bases loaded in the 4th, actually bunting into the force at the plate. 0 for 4 in the series. 1-0.
And as you said last inning, Howard, Royce has all command of his pitches. Threw a slow curveball to Rodriguez for a grounder to short, spotting his fastball.
He's put it all together. Has a sense of command now. Although that graphic is interesting, it would betoken a weakening in the late innings.
1-2 on Guidry.
Hey, Johnny, you're growing old gracefully.
See if you're ever on his show again, huh?
No, I told him that when we wrapped up the Burt Reynolds roast. Fryer's roast in New York. Johnny was the MC. I was the wrap-up speaker.
Up and in, down he goes, and for Jerry Royce, strikeout number 4. Royce has now set down 6 in a row. Willie Randolph, the batter.
He's certainly done his job, giving up that 1 run because of a Lopes error primarily, and settling down, containing the Yankees, squelching a number of early inning threats.
Grounded down to Russell. Ball hitting the side of the mound, and Billy throwing him out to retire the side. So Jerry Royce continues to do the job, showing no signs of weakening. Set down 7 straight. Middle of the 7th inning, still 1-0 Yankees.
I'm talking baseball, like Reggie Quisenberry talking baseball. Carew and Gaylord Perry, Seaver, Garvey, Schmidt, and Vida Blue. If Cooperstown is calling, it's no fluke. They'll be with Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Say hey, say hey, say hey.
The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
Dusty Baker leading off for the Dodgers in the bottom of the 7th inning. Baker, Guerrero, and Yeager facing Ron Guidry, who strikes Dusty with a strike. Guidry yielding just 2 hits, both coming in the first 2 innings. Baker a chopper foul by Danny Ozark in the third base coaching box, and the count 0-2.
There are any number of Yankee fans here, and the one thing they don't want to see is a chopper going down to third base. They're psyched out, even if the Yankees aren't.
Yankees 1, Dodgers 0. 0-2 on Baker, leading off in the bottom of the 7th inning. Half swing, comes around, down he goes. 9 strikeouts for Guidry.
Both pitches seem to falter in the late innings, if one can believe the statistics.
And here we see for the 9th strikeout, a slider, head and count 0-2. Baker has to chase it. A little bit out of the zone. Excellent slider for this 9th strikeout.
Guerrero looks at his strike. 0-1.
What Guidry is doing, he's establishing his fastball because he's got an excellent one. And it looks to me that he's got his best slider in the last month. So the Dodgers have 2 pitches to look for.
Time has been called by Guerrero. Count 0-1 on Pedro.
If you talk to hitters that hit off Guidry, the thing that makes his slider so difficult is when he throws his good one, it's just a little bit out of the strike zone.
Guerrero to deep left field, and the ball game is tied.
All it took.
Postseason play, but a man with good power hit 12 during the regular season and ties it up here in the 7th.
And there you saw a slider that wasn't down and in, and that ball is crushed to left field.
And the Dodgers, with a tremendous team spirit, have become the team in this World Series with the right man in the right place at the right time. Look at them.
Crowd still going wild. Yeager, the batter. Hand swing, the appeal, get the call at first for a strike. 0-1 the count. The Dodgers even here in the 7th inning. 1-1 with 1 out and the base is empty. Yankee bullpen stirring around. 1-1 the count. One guess who's going to get up in the Yankee bullpen.
The Goose. This time there can be no question.
There he is. Time called. Time had been called. There's no pitch. Time had been called by the third base umpire. There's Guerrero with a home run to tie it up. Little doubt when I left the bat.
He did crush that ball. Jerry Royce is the pitcher who seems now to be in total command of the Yankees. But that can change with one swing, too.
1-1 pitch to Yeager. 1-2. There's Royce.
Well, 2 mistakes that Guidry's made today. They've both been on high sliders. Yeager's ball that hit the top of the wall, and the home run by Guerrero.
To deep left field again, and the Dodgers have the lead. Home runs by Guerrero and Yeager. 2-1 Los Angeles.
Fastball in the middle of the plate. We said all series that Yeager can hit the fastball. He homered to right field in New York in the first game. Another ball deep into the left field seats.
There's more to it than that. Guidry's tired. He's been tiring all year in the late innings. The real storyline here is this Dodger team and their excellence. And Steve Yeager, the ball player who felt betrayed, becomes in his own way maybe the biggest story of all. Did you see Lasorda run out and hug him?
Steve coming to bat only 83 times during the regular season. Hit 3 homers during the regular year. Thomas with a count 0-1. Taking low and inside, and the count is 1-1. So Guidry, who was sailing along, hadn't given up a hit since the 2nd inning. And all of a sudden, Guerrero and Yeager to the pavilion. 1-1 the count. Thomas to center field. Routine, Winfield. 2 down. Tommy Lasorda, his club trying to become the 8th to come back and win a World Series after trailing 2 games to nothing. Lemon, who won it all in '78. And it looked like he had a pretty good lock on it when the teams headed west after after Wednesday's second game. The response for Royce.
And does he deserve it? 0-1. Steve Yeager. The home run to put him out in front. There's Johnstone, one of yesterday's big heroes. On the left.
Probably told him how to do it after his 2-run home run yesterday.
Well, we showed that graphic earlier that vividly depicted how Guidry staggers, comes apart in the last 3 innings.
Royce, a soft humpback liner fielded by Milburn, and the inning is over. But the Dodgers get 2 runs on 2 hits. The homers by Guerrero and Yeager. And at the end of 7 complete, it's the Dodgers 2, the Yankees 1, back at Dodger Stadium after this commercial and a word from our local stations.
In the 7th, it's still a 1-run ball game. Guidry has retired 15 of the last 16 Dodger batters. And although he averages only 6 innings per outing, he shows no signs of wilting. Pedro Guerrero at bat.
And the strike 1 pitch to Pedro Guerrero. Breaking ball, a high fly ball to left. Back goes Piniella. It's gone.
Just when it appears the spell's worn off, the Dodgers find their comeback magic again. Still, Lemon sticks to his laissez-faire doctrine, letting Guidry face another dangerous righty, Steve Yeager.
Guidry squinting into Cerrone. Now the 1-2 pitch to Yeager. Swung on another high drive. Back goes Piniella. Way back. It's gone.
The serenity of a Sunday afternoon pitching duel has been shattered by back-to-back home runs. And with shocking speed, the Dodgers have taken a 2-1 lead. These are the October Dodgers, a club with unquenchable desire and unbounded confidence.
When baseball made news with Fernando Valenzuela's spectacular debut, Pete Rose's record hit, and its longest strike, 16 million readers were part of it in Sports Illustrated. When Watson was masterful, McEnroe magnificent, and Sugar Ray superfine, 16 million readers were part of it in Sports Illustrated. And now, as the Yankees and Dodgers battle in this year's World Series, 16 million readers will be part of the news and excitement in Sports Illustrated. You can be part of it too.
And a very happy Mike Connors right now, a 2-1 Dodger lead, but the series tonight, the new FBI series, today's FBI, Mike, very happy about it.
Yes, I hope there's as many people watching that show tonight as they're watching this series.
Premiering tonight on ABC. What about some of the other stars in the series?
Well, there's talented Richard Hill, Carol Potter, just a minute, please. Carol Potter and Harold Sylvester, all fine talent.
Okay. Back to you, Al.
All right, Uke. And in the 8th inning, it's Milburn grounding to say on the first pitch, 1 away. 1 out. Bases empty. Well, we've got a pretty good lead in from Mr. Connors, whose show will be on after Game 5 of the World Series in the Eastern and Central time zones and 8 o'clock on the West Coast.
Now remember, all season long, the Yankees, trailing in the late innings, have not been able to rescue a single game, even though they won 55 of 56 when they were leading going into the late innings. Let's see if now, when it's more important than it's ever been all year long, they can show some resiliency. But this pitcher has been commanding. He's the one who gained in strength.
Jerry Royce has set down the last 8 straight, 11 of the last 12. Winfield. 1-0 the count. Winfield, the last man to reach off Royce when Dave picked up his first hit in the series. A single to left in the 5th inning. He's 1 for 17. 1 out, bases empty. 2-1 Los Angeles in the 8th. 1-1. On deck, Reggie Jackson.
good point is that Royce cannot lose until he gets a man on. Winfield's the tying run, not the winning run. You don't want to be so careful that you walk him and have the next guy come up and hit a 2-run home run.
1-2 the count. Royce has walked 3, one of those intentionally. Struck out 4. 2-2. Winfield leaning out over the plate and bending back. Pitch really not that close.
Oh, he wants the ball out over the plate, and Royce, there you see that sailing fastball in on him.
Got him swinging. Winfield swung at Royce's pitch, not his pitch.
And here you see a high fastball sailing in out of the strike zone. Not a good pitch to handle for Winfield. Strike 3.
Reggie Jackson. Doubled, struck out, hit into a double play. Crowd roaring with each delivery now. Reggie goes the other way. Easy play for Dusty Baker. The Yankees are gone in the 8th. 3 up, 3 down through 7.5. It's the Dodgers 2, the Yankees 1 in Game 5.
Don Money making his first appearance in the Eastern Division playoffs. Jams him inside, and it's now 3 balls and 2 strikes. And Don almost walked into that. Look at that thing run on him.
For the Yankees, these changes, Lou Piniella goes from left over to right. Jerry Mumphrey is indeed alive and well, and there he is. A day late, but he's back in center field. And Dave Winfield moves over to left. And the Yankees make a change as the Goose comes out of the bullpen to try to keep the Dodgers in check in the 8th inning. Gossage to face Lopes, Russell, and Garvey. 2-1 Los Angeles.
Maybe too little, too late. The use of Gossage.
Davey Lopes 0 for 3. 1-0. When the Yankees come up in the top of the 9th inning, Watson, Piniella, and Cerrone. 2-0 the count.
I think Gossage may have a problem. He hasn't pitched in 4 days.
It's entirely possible.
We saw him in New York. He had 5 days off. Struggled really both games till he got in a groove in the last inning.
And out of the groove right here, 3-0 the count on Davey Lopes.
Might very well have rusted out.
3-1.
Because in spite of how hard he throws, he is a control pitcher. When he's on, he can throw the ball 95 miles per hour on the corner.
3-2. That last pitch was clocked at 92. Ball 4. Davey Lopes draws a walk. And Bill Russell coming up. What a shot as you look down upon Dodger Stadium from the Goodyear blip.
Of course, Howard, I think in all fairness to Bob Lemon, Guidry started off last inning striking Baker out, even though he has had a very tough time at the plate. I would think that after Guerrero hit a home run, you might want to bring Gossage in, but it's kind of hard to anticipate things.
Well, I haven't criticized Lemon. He's had a very difficult time of it. I haven't criticized him today.
Russell bunting. Watson will make the catch, and Lopes is alert enough to get back to first base.
I was not saying that. I just think it illustrates how difficult a major league manager's job is. And a lot of times, I suppose if Guidry had stayed in, somehow weathered the 7th inning, you wouldn't have people second guessing.
Things add up, Jim, as we said yesterday. The blown opportunities in the early innings, the blown opportunities of the Yankees today in the early innings. But the overriding people here today in the long run have been Jerry Royce and Steve Yeager, along with Guerrero. And this team, there's a reason for statistics in baseball. They foretell things.
Steve Garvey popping it up. Shallow right field. Lou Piniella coming on. 2 gone.
This Dodger team so terribly underrated by so many. They may be in the process of doing exactly what they did against Houston. Down 2-0 in games they won 3 in a row. This team was much too lightly regarded by too many people.
Part of the reason being that the Dodgers, like a couple of other clubs that were first half winners, including the Yankees, did not perform particularly well in the second half of the season. Close play. Lopes getting back.
And you see Lopes diving back in. 8 straight stolen bases in postseason play. Pretty good time to run. Take a shot to get a guy second base. Maybe pick up another run. Make it a little bit easier for Royce.
Say hitting a chopper foul.
Ouch.
0-1.
Don't discount Tommy Lasorda either. They cheered him today. He's taken a lot of garbage this year and last year. But he's held together and he has managed superbly well in this series.
0-1 pitch. Look out. Woo. Right off the helmet. Ron Say. You saw him blinking and his eyes open now as a 94-mile-an-hour fastball crunches into the helmet of Ron Say. And the crowd, as you can hear, getting all over Gossage. Ron had no chance really to get out of the way of that pitch.
Well, it looked like the ball hit him in the batting helmet.
Helmet going flying off.
If it did. One can understand the passions of the crowd in a case like this, but they must understand there's no way in the world Gossage threw at Ron Say.
Right off the helmet. Yep.
Not in that situation. Thank heaven for helmets. Right on the corner of the helmet. And you know, it took a lot of years for the helmet to be brought into use as we look at Ron, and who seems to be talking. What a terrible, terrible thing to happen. Helmets finally came into vogue in the big leagues as a result of the beaning of Don Zimmer, when he almost died, having been beamed down at St. Paul and then subsequently as a Dodger in a pitch thrown by Jeffcoat. I remember once in Brooklyn when Ducky Wucky Medwick, then a member of the Dodgers, was beamed by a right-hander named Bobby Bowman. And Larry McPhail, then running the Dodgers, threatened to go into criminal court. Thank heavens. Look at Ron. He's up.
So Say, fortunately, able to walk off with a little bit of assistance. Lasorda, of course, will not take any chances here. Sending in a pinch runner and a great ovation for a man who's played a key role in the resurgence of the Dodgers over the weekend here. And as Say departs, again, the booing begins for Gossage. They're really on him now. What a frightening sight, and the sound, too. Fortunately, you can hear it hit plastic, knowing that it indeed got the helmet, at least the brunt of the force did. And they'll take Say back to the trainer's room. Meanwhile, Kenny Landreau comes out to pinch run for Say at first base.
It's remarkable that Ron was able to talk, apparently keep his wits together, because such a blow had to have had a concussive effect.
With 2 down, Landreau, the pinch runner at first, Davey Lopes now at second, and Dusty Baker at the plate, fouling it straight back. 0-1.
And ironically now, each starting third baseman has been injured in this series. Of course, a damaged thumb is one thing. The frightening sight we have just seen, another.
The Dodgers will probably move Darryl Thomas into play third base in the 9th inning and keep Landreau in the game in center. Runners are going. The pitch is inside, and the throw is not in time. Dropped by Rodriguez. Davey Lopes running on his own and getting a great jump. Landreau started late. He was watching Davey, and it's a double steal.
Well, we saw Lopes yesterday steal second and steal third. 9th straight time he stolen a base in postseason games. And what this does, a base hit will score 2 runs and make Jerry Royce's job a lot easier.
The owner isn't happy. You can understand that. He's become bigger than his ball players in a publicity sense.
1-2 pitch. Baker hits a breaking pitch, fouled, deep down the line. Well back out of play. So Dusty hanging right in with a count 1-2. Jerry Royce will go to the mound in the 9th inning.
And as a pitcher, I know what he wants. He wants a 3-run cushion instead of a 1-run cushion.
Bouncing ball to third. Rodriguez has to back up. He's got a strong arm and is able to gun him down. So the inning is over. They get all over Gossage as he comes back to the dugout. The Dodgers leave a couple in the 8th and will go to the 9th. There are the men due up in Game 5. It's the Dodgers 2 and the Yankees 1. For the Dodgers, as speculated, Darryl Thomas at third base. Kenny Landreau stays in center field as we go to the 9th. Al Michaels along with Howard Cosell, Jim Palmer. I want to thank our statistician in the booth, Alan Roth. Steve Hurt doing a great job with the graphics as the Dodgers take a 2-1 advantage into the 9th inning. Bob Watson fouling off Royce's first offering. As you look at Terry Royce, Jerry's wife, looking for 3 more outs. Watson 0 for 2 plus a walk. Still 1-2.
Now you have to look ahead, assuming Royce can survive, and wonder and hope that Ron Say will be able to play on Tuesday. Because the series is a long way from over. Different in Yankee Stadium.
Grounded to short. Russell stays with an erratic hop and gets him. Run away. Terry Royce with a sigh of relief as Lou Piniella comes to the plate. We aren't, by the way, checking on the condition of Ron Say, who is back in the trainer's room. Game 6 coming up on Tuesday. There are the probables. Tommy John will pitch on 2 days rest against Bert Hooton. 8 o'clock Eastern time at Yankee Stadium.
And what Royce has done is what he's done for the last 4 or 5 innings. He's gotten ahead of the hitters. He got right ahead of Watson, made him chase a couple of bad pitches, made a good one on the inside part of the plate, and the ball was hit right at Russell for the out.
The interesting thing about this sport is you can sense things. You get a feeling. You could sense Royce coming on. You couldn't sense what happened to Guidry unless you began with the Guerrero home run and took into the light of the situation the whole Guidry background of faltering in the late innings.
Piniella bouncing ball toward the middle, and that's a base hit. So the Yankees get the tying run on. The first hit off Royce since Winfield singled in the 5th inning. Jerry had set down 11 straight. So Piniella at first base. Cerrone will be the hitter. Lou looking over into the dugout as if he expects a pinch runner to come out.
We'll probably see Bobby Brown.
That will be the case. That's why time is out here. And it will be Bobby Brown who emerges from the Yankee dugout as the tying run. The Yankees with a run in the second inning. The Dodgers with 2 in the 7th. Back-to-back homers by Guerrero and Yeager. Cerrone lifting it to center field. Landreau there. 2 down.
Interesting. Swung on the first pitch again. 3 out of 4 times. Every time with men on base. The one time he waited, he hit a line shot. You just saw Steinbrenner registered disgust. He sent a line shot to left field.
He told you Cerrone will be back next year.
Well, no, the reason is wrong. And here we see Aurelio Rodriguez.
They hit for him yesterday with Barry Foote. With 1 out of the 9th inning, the crowd standing is 1. Rodriguez goes after the first pitch and hits it off the foot of the third base umpire. Foul off Nick Colosi's foot. Joe Altobelli is going to argue it was a fair ball, and Colosi saying, I'm standing in foul territory.
I think you'll see the foul line, and maybe he wasn't.
Here comes Lemon.
And here's a hot shot by Rodriguez. Darryl Thomas is on the line, as he should be. And there you can see
it's a foul ball.
All the way, no doubt.
Going back to Cerrone, Cerrone is a first ball fastball hitter. I think you could second guess the fact that he has swung at 4 pitches to hit. But basically, that's the way he hits. And Royce has been able to get him out on some good pitches early in the count.
0-1. Rodriguez fouling it away, and the count is 0-2.
Again, Jerry Royce has gotten ahead of the hitter. Has a number of options now. You can throw him that slow curveball. He can come in. This is probably the best place to go, or he can go away with that fastball.
As one, they stand at Dodger Stadium. The home team has won every game thus far in the World Series. The Dodgers trying to keep that streak intact. 2 out, no balls, 2 strikes on Rodriguez. And the Dodgers lead it 3 games to 2. Los Angeles Dodgers down 2 games to nothing. Now up 3 games to 2. We'll be back in a moment to talk with Pedro Guerrero, and Steve Yeager will return to Dodger Stadium after this commercial and a word from our local station.
Now the hitting heroes today for the Dodgers, Pedro Guerrero on an 0-1 pitch to tie it at 1-1. What did you hit, Pedro?
Well, I think it was a slider. You know, he was throwing that pitch all day, but that one, I guess, didn't break too good, so I hit again.
You know, it looked like it was awfully tough seeing today, though.
Well, it was tough to see when the game first started, but then later on, you know, I can see better.
What about you, Steve? What is it about postseason play with you? You hit a home run the other day, the first time ever to right field in Yankee Stadium, and then today the big one off Gossage on Guidry on a 1-2 pitch. No doubt about it in left field.
Well, you know, I just seem to excel, I guess, in postseason play, and I enjoy it because it's what we fight for from the time we go to spring training until the end of the season, is to get, like Lasorda says, the Fall Classic. A lot of clubs, a lot of people count us out all year long. We weren't supposed to beat the Astros. We weren't supposed to beat Montreal. We did. We're together, and we lost the first 2 in New York. We come back and won 3 in a row. We're going back to New York and trying to win 1 out of 2 there.
Great series here. Back to you, Al Michaels.
All right, thank you, Uke. We're back at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. The final score right there, 2-1. The Dodgers winning it. The Yankees winning games 1 and 2. The Dodgers with 3 one-run victories over the weekend here. So in all 5 games, the home team has prevailed. And the Dodgers, in quest of their first World Championship since 1965, need one more to pick it up. The home run here by Pedro Guerrero, coming in the 7th inning, off Ron Guidry, who had been sailing along till then. Guerrero drilling it deep into the bleachers in left field to tie the game. And that, of course, was followed by the home run off the bat of Steve Yeager right here.
And here you see a fastball in the middle of the plate. Yeager, a fastball hitter, hits it deep to left. 2-1 Dodgers.
And that's the way it wound up, with Jerry Royce going all the way.
One could see Royce take command in this ball game from the middle innings on. One could see him getting stronger and stronger, and the fans are sitting here almost reverently. Maybe they've got it a little bit out of whack in its importance in the fullness of life, but it's a very big part of their lives, and they still find it a subject to rejoice over. They have beaten the Yankees 3 in a row, and they have shown in every case the ability to come back. And the Yankees have shown in every case the inability to capitalize upon the opportunities presented. Today was no exception.
If there was ever been a more emotional ball game pitched here at Dodger Stadium, I can't remember when. It's been a long time. Outstanding job by Jerry Royce today, 2-1 Dodgers.
I agree with everything you say, Bob. Boy, that was fun.
Jerry, these fans pump you up all day long?
Well, they've been pumping us up all series long, all season long. You got to give them credit. They come out here in large numbers, and it makes all the difference in the world. But I've been waiting 15, 20, 25 years ever since you were playing.
Jerry, what's the difference in your performance the other game you pitched to today?
Well, I kept the ball down most of the day today. I went predominantly fastballs, threw maybe 3 or 4 curveballs. And the other game in New York, I was throwing probably too many curveballs, getting the ball up, and I just didn't pitch my kind of game. Today I did.
Solid game. Back to you, Al.
All right, Uke, again, the final score. The Dodgers 2 and the Yankees 1. The Dodgers leading in the series 3 games to 2. Al Michaels, Howard Cosell, Jim Palmer. So long from Los Angeles, with a reminder to join us tomorrow night for ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. The Oilers taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Tuesday night, Game 6 of the 1981 World Series. Travel arrangements made through, and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United flies more people to Hawaii than any other airline. That's what Friendly Skies are all about. Today's game has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.
The Dodgers have done the unthinkable. 3 straight heart-stopping come-from-behind victories. And what seemed like a pipe dream 2 weeks, even 2 days ago, is now 1 win from reality. Only an incident from the game's 8th inning mars the Dodgers' festive mood. Ron Cey dug in against Goose Gossage with the count 0-1. It was a 94-mile-an-hour fastball that landed on Cey's helmet, and the Dodgers' most valuable infielder in the series can only be thankful for the headgear. Already sidelined once this year by a pitched ball, the hometown hero is dazed but not seriously injured, and it's hoped he'll be back in the lineup when the series resumes in New York for Game 6.